If you grew up watching Jackie Chan adventures, you probably remember the 12 Talismans as this perfect childhood fantasy, a pocket-sized superpower menu where every choice feels overpowered. Laser eyes, invisibility, super strength. Pick one and you're basically unstoppable, right? Wrong. Because the moment you rank these talismans like an adult, by real-world usefulness, actual combat value, and how badly a power can backfire when you're not living in a cartoon, the list flips. Hard. The flashy fan favorites start looking like liabilities, and the boring ones become terrifying. So today, I'm ranking all 12 talismans from worst to best, using one simple rule. If you can only take one talisman into the real world, no backup, no plot armor, what actually gives you the biggest advantage? And fair warning, a few of your childhood favorites are about to get absolutely cooked. Let's start at the very bottom, because someone has to be last, and the pig talisman is the ultimate childhood trap. On paper, it sounds god tier, the classic Homelander or Superman special with heat vision that can slice through steel and melt locks like a living plasma cutter. But the fantasy dies the moment you stop living in a cartoon and start living around other humans. Everyone thinks they'd be a hero, but in the real world, laser eyes are just a one-trick power that's loud, obvious, and impossible to use quietly. The real deal breaker? The miss factor. In a real-life panic moment, one slip, one flinch, or one missed shot, and you aren't a superhero anymore. You're a criminal case with a national headline. You don't want a power where you just stare and hope it solves everything, because in reality, that's just a fast track to terrible life choices. It's a solid secondary skill, sure, but as your only superpower, Pig goes dead last. Right above Pig is the Snake Talisman, the power every kid wanted, and the one that makes every adult immediately side-eye you. Let's be real. Invisibility is the ultimate get-out-of-trouble card, perfect for slipping past crowds or vanishing when things go south. But here's the catch. It's just optical invisibility, not a ghost mode. In a world of thermal cameras, high-def sensors, and even a random bag of flour, you're constantly one step away from being exposed. Let's face it, if your god-tier superpower can be countered by someone sneezing near you, you're not a legend. You're just a fragile target waiting for a rainstorm to turn you from a ghost into an international embarrassment. Unless you're planning a career as a shady paparazzi, Snake is powerful but way too easy to break. Next is the Ox Talisman, the ultimate blue-collar upgrade. It's simple, massive strength amplification. You dominate any physical job on the planet, construction, rescue work, or becoming a pro athlete. You'd basically be printing money just by existing. But remember, Ox isn't infinite power. It scales off your body, and as we saw in the show, even this buff can't save you when you're facing a 7-meter demon dragon like Shendu. Here's the brutal reality. Strength only matters if you can actually touch your opponent. If they are faster, smarter, or have range, you're just swinging at air and praying for a lucky grab. It's a clean, reliable buff, but it's also a one-way ticket to a humility check the moment you meet someone who refuses to fight on your terms. Now let's talk about the Rooster Talisman, because levitation looks harmless until you remember gravity is literally the main rule of life. Anti-gravity is the kind of ability that doesn't look impressive in a cartoon fight, but would change industries overnight. You'd replace cranes, heavy equipment, rescue machinery, lifting massive objects becomes a casual Tuesday. In combat, it's nasty too. If you can suspend someone, you can control the battlefield without even throwing a punch. The downside is that it's not always instant domination. You're still vulnerable while you're using it, and if someone hits you fast enough, you might not have time to float them. But make no mistake, Rooster is the power you laugh at, right before it makes you hover like an unpaid balloon. Next up is the Sheep Talisman, the one people love to clown on until they realize that in the real world, information wins wars. Astral Projection might sound like a boring party trick, but context is everything. Think about it. You're essentially a ghost with god-tier scouting abilities, slipping into any vault or hearing any secret without a trace. But it gets darker. If you know even a basic level of psychology, you can move beyond scouting and start influencing people through their dreams. planting ideas or manipulating vibes like a low-key evil mastermind. You aren't just watching the game, you're rewriting the script while they sleep. The power ceiling is wild, but the trade-off is brutal. While your spirit is out playing God, your physical body is just sitting there like a free loot box. If someone finds you, it's curtains. Sheep is absolutely overpowered, right up until someone unplugs your body like a Wi-Fi router. Next, we hit the Rabbit Talisman. If you think speed isn't top tier, you've clearly never been in a who would win debate. In any universe, speed is a cheat code. It doesn't just make you fast, it gives you control over timing itself. In a fight, you decide when the engagement starts and exactly when it ends. But for your daily life, Rabbit is an elite S-tier lifestyle upgrade. Since the show proves it doesn't instantly drain your stamina, your commute becomes zero, emergencies become minor inconveniences, and you could literally finish a week's worth of work before lunch. You aren't just a person anymore, you're a different species. However, Rabbit has a fatal flaw that most people ignore. Speed without control is just high-speed self-destruction. If your reaction time and decision-making aren't as fast as your legs, you're not a god. You're just a Ferrari being driven by someone with zero brake discipline. It's the ultimate power, as long as you don't outrun your own brain. Then we hit the Monkey Talisman, and this one is straight up disrespectful. Monkey isn't about fighting your opponent, it's about editing them. It's basically a bootleg version of the 72 transformations, letting you turn threats into hamsters or ants with zero effort. The disgusting part? It's not mana-based. There's no time limit. The change stays until you, and only you, decide to cancel it. That is concept-level nonsense. In real-world terms, it's the ultimate non-lethal takedown. It doesn't matter how tough someone is or how much plot armor they have. If they're suddenly a goldfish, the fight is over. But as broken as it sounds, it's not invincible. You still need an opening. If you whiff the shot or get blitzed before you can point the talisman, you'll discover very quickly that bringing magic to a fist fight doesn't help if you can't land the hit. Monkey is a reality-warping cheat code, right up until you miss and realize you're the one who needs saving. Now let's talk about the Tiger Talisman, because this is where the comment section always gets messy. People love to call Tiger useless because they only remember one thing: it splits good and evil. So what, they say, that doesn't win fights. That take is surface level. Tiger is a concept power, balance as a cosmic mechanic. If you can split someone into two parts, you can weaken them, destabilize them, break their unity. And if balance extends beyond morality into body chemistry, mental stability, system harmony, then Tiger has world-changing implications. The only reason it's not top tier is because it's not always a quick KO tool. In a sudden fight, subtle powers can lose to blunt violence. Still, Tiger is the smartest talisman, which is exactly why the loudest fans think it's trash. Then comes the Dragon Talisman, the fan favorite, the boom power everybody worships because it looks cool. And yes, Dragon is raw, destructive output. Fire blasts, energy projection, pure offense. In the real world, you'd be an industrial nightmare. Welding, cutting, demolition, even energy applications. But here's the brutal truth. Raw damage is not the same as winning. Dragon is loud. It announces you. It turns every moment into a public incident. And against anything that heals, anything that regenerates, anything that doesn't care about pain, Dragon becomes wasted fireworks. It's a walking highlight reel with the strategy depth of a slammed keyboard. Still top tier, but not the king. Now we enter the top 3, starting with the Rat Talisman. And this is where the list starts to get scary. Rat isn't just a power, it's a production line for miracles. Giving life to inanimate objects means the animated thing inherits its original identity and abilities. This is the ultimate dream for every otaku. Your high-end statues and waifus literally walking into reality. You aren't just playing with toys anymore, you're editing the guest list of existence. But there's a catch that every myth warns us about: agency. The thing you revive has its own personality and will. It's not your puppet. You could animate a force of ancient guardians to protect you, only to realize you've just created a customer service nightmare with living creations that don't want to obey. Rat is a civilization-changing tool that turns stuff into people. It's, congrats, you're a god, right up until your creations decide they don't like their creator. It's beyond combat, beyond reality. It's broken for a reason. At number 2 is the Horse Talisman, and this is where the adult brain fully takes over. As a kid, you ignore horse because it doesn't look cool. As an adult, you do illegal things to get it. Healing injuries, removing negative effects, restoring damage. Horse is infinite healthcare and infinite repairs. It's survival, it's security, it's the power that makes catastrophes temporary. The fatal flaw is brutal though. It doesn't make you unbeatable in the moment. If you get one shot, healing after the fact doesn't matter. Horse is the most valuable power in real life, and the least cool power to brag about until everybody around you needs it. And finally, at number 1, the Dog Talisman, Immortality and Eternal Youth. This isn't just strong, this is a multiplier on every other advantage you could ever have. Because immortality doesn't just mean, I can't die. It means time becomes your weapon. You can learn anything, master everything, outlast every enemy, outlive every era, and stack experience until the world feels slow. The fatal flaw is the one no one wants to talk about. Immortality makes you a target. You won't exist quietly. Someone will hunt you, study you, worship you, or try to lock you in a lab. But even that proves the point. Dog doesn't just win fights. Dog changes the rules of the game. So that's the ranking, the adult version. Flashy powers at the bottom, reality warping survival and value at the top. Now it's your turn. If you can only pick one talisman right now, which one are you taking and why? And what's your hottest take? Is Dragon overrated? Is Tiger secretly top tier? Does Rat belong above Horse? Drop your pick in the comments. And if you want part 2, I'll rank the most broken talisman combos because some pairings are straight up illegal, no cap.